So I wanted to actually do like a learn with me video. This is the very first white featherweight that I have worked with. I've worked with a couple of the black featherweights, so we're just going to do kind of like a side-by-side, just comparison, just if someone was just kind of walking up to the featherweights and just said, what are some of the differences, that you'd be able to answer that. Technically speaking, we won't really get into all of that in this particular video, but most of us are familiar with the black featherweight. When we look in the internal parts of it, you can see that it is gear driven both up top, and then if I flip it over here, oops, move that out of the way, underneath as well. So this one's in the process of being cleaned up, waiting on the feet to come. If anybody saw my picture from earlier, this is what was on the rubber feet. I really don't even think these were the original. It was like silly putty pulling this stuff off. Really kind of disgustingly gross. But up here in the white featherweight, it is belt driven, not only up front, but also, if we can flip it over underneath there really fast, at least just hold it up, underneath the underside as well. So a little bit different. Obviously you're not going to stick a bunch of grease down there, and we've got some cleaning up to do on this one. The other thing, you can go ahead and turn that back over. The other thing that we've got here is just where the plug goes into. This has a receptacle unit. You can take that off, whereas the white featherweight, it is attached into the machine, and the presser foot is this clam. They call it clam style presser foot. Obviously the white body, you can see that even the light fixture is a little bit bigger on the white featherweight as opposed to the black featherweight. The bed itself, the extension bed here, smaller than what you've got on the black featherweight, but in terms of like bobbin assembly and things like that, you know, the black featherweights, and this one here is actually going to be a little bit on the dirty side. Like I said, we just opened this up to clean it. We'll get it all nice and cleaned up there as well. This is what the actual faceplate looks like. It's the solid white. It has kind of like a doodad on the front of it, but it's not going to be your straight or your scroll like what Clickety's got back there on there. These tension, when you take this off, the numbers and the plus and minus is out of actual metal, and once we took these off, we noticed that these are actually plastic, not metal. So we're going to clean those up as well. Another interesting thing to note would be the bobbin winder. This is like a little, it's got a tensioner in there that you stick your thread, you know, around. And over here, you've got just a hook. It's going to wind the same, or it will come down onto the belt, but it'll go through the hook. And this featherweight does have the original, let me go around over here, original white belt, which you cannot get a replacement for. The only downside is that this machine has been sitting for a long period of time, is what I'm imagining. When we went to move it, the belt itself is actually dry rotting, so it's not going to be able to be saved. So we'll replace it with the red belt that has these notches in there, so it's got a little bit more durability as opposed to the black belts on there. So as of right now, this is like the main differences that we see, probably more so cosmetically, with a little bit of, you know, explaining some of the internal mechanics of it, between the white and the black featherweight. And if you stay tuned, you will see hopefully the white featherweight up and running within the next couple of weeks. Thank you.